One of the most effective ways to work with microdoses of psychedelics is within a therapeutic container. And what I mean by that is not just taking a microdose and having your own therapeutic container, but actually expanding that to invite a professional, trained therapist into your microdosing protocol. And the reason for that is because if you find the right therapist, someone who has experience with psychedelics, who knows microdosing, and who can help you with processing things that might come up during the microdosing process, then it's going to make your microdosing experience that much more effective. And that's because microdosing is a lubricant for the subconscious and the unconscious. And that's why when people microdose, they notice that they become aware of things or that repressed emotions tend to start to come to the surface. And it's critical, especially if you're microdosing for a clinical issue, depression, anxiety, addiction, PTSD, that you have a therapist who can support you during that process. Now, the beautiful part about working with a therapist who knows a thing or two about psychedelics is that you don't just have to stick to a microdose level. You can also slightly increase it to a mini dose level. So what that meant for me when I did 6 months of therapy back in 2018 is for my first few therapeutic sessions, I took 1 microdose, which is about 0.15 grams of psilocybin. And then for the remaining sessions, I ended up taking anywhere from 0.3 to 0.5 grams of psilocybin. And that was more of a mini dose. In other words, I felt some of the sensations, I felt the opening, I noticed that I had taken a little bit of a psychedelic, but I was still able to get to my appointment. I was still able to go on the subway in New York to make it there. I was still able to be present through the therapeutic session and talk about the emotions that were coming up for me. And what I noticed is that when I microdosed or mini dosed with psilocybin mushrooms during my therapeutic sessions, I was able to just let go more and be more open and process things and not have as many walls and defenses up. And that makes total sense because that's what psychedelics help us do. They help us to be more vulnerable. And if we feel like we're in a safe container where we feel held by our therapist, then microdosing can significantly accelerate the therapeutic process. So the question that you have to ask yourself from this video is 1, how do you find a qualified therapist or coach that you can work with, who can help you through a microdosing experience? And 2, how do you calibrate your dose level appropriately for when you're going into the therapeutic container or the coaching container? Do you take 1 microdose, 2, 3? If you're microdosing with LSD, do you do 5 micrograms, 15, 30 micrograms? Both of these questions, how to find a therapist or coach and how to calibrate your dose level appropriately for that container, can be found in Third Wave's official microdosing course. Just go to thethirdwave.co. You can find our official microdosing course. And in that course, we'll connect you with a coach or a therapist who can help guide you through your microdosing experience and ensure that you have the appropriate dose level calibrated for your specific needs. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to stay up to date on the third wave of psychedelics, subscribe to this channel and visit thethirdwave.co, where you'll find plenty of free resources on intentional and responsible psychedelic use.